Speak what happens if you drink olive oil every night before bed. Have you ever wondered whether one simple tablespoon of olive oil before bed could actually change your health? It sounds almost too simple to be true. After all, how could something Thandapos, been sitting in your kitchen cabinet for years, suddenly become one of the most talked about health habits on the internet? Some people swear by it. They say it helps them wake up feeling lighter, improves digestion, supports their heart, reduces inflammation, and even helps them sleep better. Others claim Thandapos, nothing more than another social media trend with exaggerated promises and very little scientific proof. So Thandapos, right? Should you actually start drinking olive oil every night before bed? Or is this another wellness myth, Thandapos, getting more attention than it deserves? Today, we Thandapos are going to separate fact from fiction. By the end of this video, you Thandapos understand exactly what researchers know about olive oil, what really happens inside your body after you consume it, which health claims are supported by science, which ones are misleading, and who should think twice before making this part of their nightly routine. And make sure you stay until the end, because one common mistake causes many people to completely miss the benefits of olive oil. And without realizing it, they may actually be adding unnecessary calories to their diet. Thandapos begin with an important fact. Extra virgin olive oil is Thandapos, just another cooking oil. For decades, nutrition scientists have considered it one of the healthiest fats available, Thandapos. One of the key reasons the Mediterranean diet has become famous around the world. In countries like Greece, Italy, and Spain, olive oil, ISN, and APOS, viewed as a supplement or a trendy health product, Thandapos, simply part of everyday life. Families cook with it. They drizzle it over vegetables. They use it on salads. They dip fresh bread into it. And many of these populations have historically experienced lower rates of heart disease and longer life expectancy than many Western countries. Of course, olive oil is Thandapos, the only reason people in these regions also eat plenty of vegetables, beans, fruits, whole grains, seafood, and nuts. They stay physically active, spend time with family, and often enjoy less processed food than the average modern diet. But researchers continue to point to extra virgin olive oil as one of the defining features of this healthy eating pattern. So what makes it so special? The answer begins with its fat. For years, many people believed all fats were unhealthy. Today, we know that, and APO's simply not true. Your body actually needs healthy fats for countless essential functions. Healthy fats help build cell membranes, produce hormones, absorb important vitamins, protect your organs, and provide a steady source of energy. Extra virgin olive oil is especially rich in monounsaturated fat, particularly a fatty acid called oleic acid. Unlike trans fats and excessive amounts of saturated fat, monounsaturated fats have been associated with healthier cholesterol levels when they replace less healthy fats in the diet. But olive oil offers much more than healthy fat alone. It also contains hundreds of naturally occurring plant compounds. Among the most important are antioxidants known as polyphenols. These compounds help protect the olive itself from damage while growing on the tree. And researchers believe they may also help protect our own cells from oxidative stress. What exactly is oxidative stress? Think of it as a kind of wear and tear happening inside the body every day. Every time you breathe, digest food, exercise, or simply live your daily life, your cells naturally produce unstable molecules called free radicals. Normally, your body keeps these under control, but when free radicals build up faster than your body adipose defenses can neutralize them, oxidative stress increases. Speak over. Many years, excessive oxidative stress has been linked with aging and numerous chronic diseases. The tandipose, one reason diets rich in fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, nuts, and extra virgin olive oil continue to attract so much scientific interest. These foods provide antioxidants that help support your body adipose natural defense systems. Now here on adipose, where things become especially interesting. Recently, more and more people have started taking olive oil by itself instead of simply cooking with it. Some take 1 tablespoon first thing in the morning. Others believe bedtime is the ideal moment. Why bedtime? There are several theories. Some people believe olive oil supports digestion while the body rests overnight. Others think it helps stabilize blood sugar during sleep. Some believe it reduces overnight inflammation. Others simply find that making it part of their bedtime routine helps them remember to consume it consistently. But does science actually show that nighttime offers unique advantages? The answer, ISN and APOs, quite as straightforward as many social media videos suggest. Most research focuses on people who consume olive oil regularly as part of a healthy dietary pattern. Scientists generally study weeks, months, or even years of consistent intake, not whether someone drinks it at exactly 9 p.m. instead of lunchtime. This is an important distinction. The biggest health benefits appear to come from making olive oil part of your everyday lifestyle, rather than choosing one magical hour of the day. That does nandapos, meaning taking it before bed, is ineffective. It simply means that consistency appears to matter much more than timing, and the tandapos actually encouraging, because whether you enjoy olive oil with dinner, drizzle it over vegetables, or take a small tablespoon before bed, adipose is still giving your body many of the same beneficial nutrients. Of course, not every claim circulating online is accurate. Adipose probably heard people say olive oil melts belly fat while you sleep, or that it detoxifies your liver overnight, or that it flushes years of toxins from your body by morning. These claims may sound exciting, but the adipose are not supported by good scientific evidence. Olive oil is healthy, very healthy, but is adipose magic? Understanding the difference between evidence-based benefits and exaggerated internet myths is exactly what today's adipose video is about. Because once you know what olive oil can realistically do and what it can adipose, you adipose be able to decide whether this simple nighttime habit is worth adding to your own routine. So now that we understand why olive oil has earned such a remarkable reputation around the world, let and APOs explore the specific reasons millions of people have started drinking it before bed, and what researchers have discovered about each of those claims. The growing popularity of drinking olive oil before bed did not happen overnight. For generations, olive oil was simply considered a healthy cooking ingredient. People used it to saute vegetables, drizzle over fresh salads, or dip warm bread into it. Few people thought about drinking it straight from a spoon. That began to change as scientists published more research on the Mediterranean diet and its remarkable health benefits. Again and again, studies found that people who regularly consumed extra virgin olive oil as part of a balanced eating pattern often had healthier hearts, lower rates of certain chronic diseases, and in many cases, longer life expectancies. Naturally, people began asking a simple question. And quote, if olive oil is this healthy with meals, what happens if I take it every single day? And quote, and dandapos, when the bedtime trend started gaining momentum, social media accelerated the idea. Videos appeared claiming that 1 tablespoon before sleep could cleanse the liver, burn fat overnight, improve sleep, eliminate constipation, balance blood sugar, reduce inflammation, strengthen the brain, and even slow the aging process. Some of these claims contain a small amount of truth. Others are greatly exaggerated. To understand the difference, we first need to understand what actually happens after you swallow that tablespoon of olive oil. The journey begins almost immediately. As the olive oil reaches your stomach, it doesn't simply sit there waiting for morning. Your digestive system immediately recognizes it as dietary fat and begins preparing to process it. Unlike simple sugars, which are digested relatively quickly, healthy fats move more slowly through the digestive system. This slower digestion is one reason healthy fats often help people feel satisfied longer after eating. As the olive oil leaves the stomach and enters the small intestine, your body releases bile from the gallbladder. Bile acts almost like a natural detergent. Its job is to break larger fat droplets into much smaller ones so digestive enzymes can work more efficiently. This process allows your body to absorb the beneficial fatty acids found in olive oil. At the same time, your pancreas releases enzymes that further break down these fats into smaller molecules your body can absorb. Once absorbed, these healthy fats done in adipose simply become stored body fat. Instead, the adipose are transported throughout the body where the adipose are used for countless important jobs. Some become part of your cell membranes. Some help produce important hormones. Others provide energy. Some assist in transporting fat-soluble vitamins throughout the body. This is something many people don't realize. Healthy fat is non-adipose, just fuel adipose, actually part of the structure of every cell in your body. Without enough healthy fat, your cells simply cannot function as efficiently. This brings us to another fascinating point. Your brain is nearly 60% fat. While that does not mean eating olive oil instantly improves intelligence or memory, it does highlight why healthy fats are essential for normal brain function. Researchers continue studying whether long-term consumption of olive oil may help support healthy cognitive aging, and the results so far are encouraging. But olive oil contains much more than fat. Extra virgin olive oil is filled with naturally occurring plant compounds known as polyphenols. These compounds are one reason extra virgin olive oil tastes slightly peppery or bitter compared with highly refined oils. In fact, if you ever coughed after tasting fresh extra virgin olive oil, the tandapose, often a sign of higher levels of beneficial polyphenols. Scientists have identified dozens of these compounds, each with unique biological properties. One of the most studied is oleocanthal. Researchers became interested in oleocanthal after noticing something unusual. It produces a slight tingling sensation in the throat, similar to certain anti-inflammatory medications. Although olive oil should never be considered a replacement for medicine, this discovery encouraged researchers to investigate whether these natural compounds might help support the body adipose, its own inflammatory balance. The research is ongoing, but it helps explain why olive oil continues attracting so much scientific attention. Another interesting feature of olive oil is its stability. Many cooking oils contain fats that oxidize more easily when exposed to heat. Extra virgin olive oil, thanks to its antioxidant content and fatty acid profile, is relatively stable during normal cooking temperatures. Tandapos, S1 reason, itandapos, widely recommended for everyday cooking as well as raw uses. Now, the tandapos talk about one of the biggest reasons people choose olive oil before bed. Digestion, constipation affects millions of adults around the world. Many people search for natural ways to support regular bowel movements without relying on medications every day. Some individuals report that taking a small amount of olive oil regularly seems to help keep things moving. Why might that happen? Speak healthy fats naturally stimulate digestive activity. They encourage bile release and help lubricate the movement of food through the digestive tract. However, itandapos, important to keep expectations realistic. If someone eats very little fiber, drinks very little water, rarely exercises, and consumes mostly processed foods, 1 tablespoon of olive oil alone probably won't endapos solve the problem. Digestive health depends on several habits working together. Fiber from fruits, vegetables, beans, oats, and whole grains remains one of the most important factors. Hydration also matters tremendously. Physical activity stimulates bowel function as well. Olive oil may support digestion, but it cannot replace these essential lifestyle habits. Another reason people enjoy taking olive oil before bed is psychological. Healthy routines are easier to maintain when they become habits. Think about brushing your teeth. Most people no longer think about whether they andapos, do it tonight. Itandapos, automatic. Some people use bedtime as a reminder to take their daily tablespoon of olive oil because it becomes attached to an existing routine. Behavioral scientists call this habit stacking, linking a new habit to one you already perform consistently. That simple strategy often makes healthy habits much easier to maintain over the long term. Consistency is one of the biggest predictors of success in nutrition. Small, healthy choices repeated every day usually produce far greater results than dramatic changes that only last a week or two. They're andapos. Another reason bedtime appeals to many people. Late night snacking. Millions of adults struggle with evening cravings. After dinner, itandapos, easy to reach for cookies, chips, ice cream, or other highly processed snacks. Because healthy fats digest slowly, some people find that a measured tablespoon of olive oil helps them feel satisfied enough to avoid unnecessary snacking later in the evening. If that happens, the benefit is not andapos, that olive oil somehow burns body fat while you sleep. The benefit comes from replacing less nutritious late-night calories with a healthier option. The tandapos is a very important difference. Olive oil does nandapos, magically erase calories. Instead, it may help support healthier food choices. Another popular claim is that olive oil improves sleep. At the moment, research specifically examining olive oil before bedtime and sleep quality is limited. However, diets rich in healthy fats and minimally processed foods are generally associated with better overall health, which may indirectly support better sleep over time. Itandapos, difficult to isolate olive oil from every other healthy habit that often accompanies it. Someone who regularly consumes olive oil may also exercise more, eat more vegetables, maintain a healthier weight, and manage stress more effectively. All of these factors influence sleep quality. This is why scientists are careful about drawing conclusions from nutrition research. Rarely does one food work alone. Instead, foods interact with the rest of your diet and lifestyle. Perhaps tandapos, the biggest lesson researchers have learned over the past several decades. There is no miracle food. There is no single ingredient that guarantees perfect health. Instead, long-term wellness is built through consistent patterns of healthy choices. Extra virgin olive oil happens to be one of the strongest pieces of that pattern. But what specific changes might you actually notice if you make it part of your daily routine for weeks, months, or even years? The answers are far more interesting than most people realize. One of the first things many people hope for when they begin drinking olive oil before bed is a healthier heart. And unlike many health trends that come and go, this is one area where the scientific evidence is actually quite strong. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death in many parts of the world. Speak for decades, researchers have searched for dietary habits that consistently support cardiovascular health. Again and again, one eating pattern continues to stand out: the Mediterranean diet. Extra virgin olive oil is one of its defining ingredients. But what exactly does olive oil do for your heart? The answer begins with cholesterol. Many people think cholesterol is simply good or bad, but the reality is much more complex. Your body actually needs cholesterol to build hormones, produce vitamin D, and maintain healthy cells. The problem is non-adipose, cholesterol itself. The problem begins when unhealthy cholesterol patterns contribute to plaque buildup inside the arteries. Healthy arteries are flexible and allow blood to flow easily. Over many years, however, plaque can gradually narrow these blood vessels, making it harder for oxygen-rich blood to reach the heart and brain. Researchers have found that replacing foods rich in saturated fats with foods rich in monounsaturated fats, such as extra virgin olive oil, may help support healthier cholesterol levels. This dozen APOs, mean olive oil, instantly lowers cholesterol overnight. Instead, regular consumption as part of a balanced eating pattern may help improve your overall cardiovascular profile over time. The adipose, an important distinction. Nutrition works gradually. Your heart benefits from thousands of healthy meals, not one magical tablespoon. They're adipose. Another reason olive oil receives so much attention in heart research, its antioxidants. Inside your bloodstream, cholesterol particles can undergo a process called oxidation. Oxidized cholesterol is believed to play an important role in the development of arterial plaque. The polyphenols found in extra virgin olive oil may help protect these particles from oxidative damage. Think of antioxidants as part of your body adipose natural defense team. Every day, your cells encounter stress from normal metabolism, pollution, smoking, poor diet, lack of sleep, and even emotional stress. Antioxidants help your body defend itself against some of that damage. Extra virgin olive oil provides a valuable source of these protective compounds. But the heart is non-adipose, the only organ that may benefit. Latandipose, talk about inflammation. Inflammation often gets a bad reputation, but etandipose, actually one of the body-adipose most important survival tools. If you cut your finger, inflammation sends immune cells to begin repairing the damage. If you catch a virus, inflammation helps your immune system fight back. Without inflammation, healing wouldn't happen. The problem begins when inflammation never fully turns off. Scientists call this chronic low-grade inflammation. Unlike the dramatic swelling that occurs after an injury, chronic inflammation often develops silently over many years. Researchers believe this ongoing inflammatory state may contribute to conditions such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, fatty liver disease, and even certain forms of cognitive decline. This is one reason nutrition researchers became fascinated by olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil contains a natural compound called oleocanthal. Interestingly, scientists noticed that oleocanthal creates a peppery sensation in the throat similar to certain anti-inflammatory medications. That observation led researchers to investigate whether this compound might help support the bodiandapos, natural inflammatory balance. Although olive oil should never replace medical treatment, studies suggest that diets rich in extra virgin olive oil may contribute to lower levels of certain inflammatory markers over time. Once again, notice the pattern. The benefit comes from regular consumption, not from one spoonful, not from 1 week, but from making healthy choices consistently. Now latandapos move to another area where many people notice changes: digestion. Your digestive system is incredibly complex. Every meal sets off a carefully coordinated chain reaction involving your stomach, liver, pancreas, gallbladder, intestines, digestive enzymes, hormones, and trillions of beneficial bacteria living inside your gut. Healthy fats play an important role in that system. When olive oil enters the small intestine, it stimulates the release of bile from the gallbladder. Bile helps break larger fat droplets into much smaller ones, allowing digestive enzymes to work efficiently. For some individuals, this process appears to support smoother digestion. Many people report fewer episodes of constipation after consistently including healthy fats like olive oil in their diet. Again, olive oil is nandapose, acting like a laxative. Instead, etandapose, supporting the digestive processes your body already performs naturally. However, etandapose, important to remember that olive oil is only one piece of digestive health. Fiber remains absolutely essential. Without enough fiber from vegetables, fruits, legumes, seeds, and whole grains, digestion often suffers regardless of how much olive oil someone consumes. Water is equally important. So is physical movement. Your digestive system loves movement. Even something as simple as a daily walk can help stimulate healthy bowel activity. Olive oil works best alongside these healthy habits, not instead of them. Now, latandapos talk about something millions of people struggle with every evening: cravings. Have you ever eaten dinner, felt completely satisfied, and then an hour later suddenly found yourself reaching for cookies, chips, chocolate, or ice cream? Euandapos are certainly not alone. Late night cravings are incredibly common. One reason involves the speed at which different foods are digested. Highly refined carbohydrates digest quickly. They can leave you feeling hungry again much sooner. Healthy fats digest more slowly. That slower digestion helps promote satiety, the feeling of fullness after eating. For some people, consuming a measured amount of olive oil with dinner or shortly afterward helps reduce the urge to snack later in the evening. This does nandapos mean olive oil burns calories while you sleep. It simply means you may be less likely to consume several hundred calories from processed snack foods. Small differences like that become meaningful over months and years. Imagine replacing a nightly bowl of potato chips or cookies with healthier habits. Over the course of a year, those choices could add up to thousands of fewer calories consumed. Latandapos, how sustainable nutrition usually works, not through dramatic overnight transformations, but through countless small improvements repeated consistently. Therandapos has another fascinating benefit that often receives less attention: vitamin absorption. Many vitamins cannot be absorbed properly without dietary fat. These include vitamins A, D, E, and K. These nutrients support vision, bone strength, immune function, blood clotting, cell repair, and many other essential processes. Without enough healthy fat, your body may struggle to absorb them efficiently. Then DAPOs, one reason nutrition experts often recommend drizzling olive oil over vegetables rather than eating them completely fat-free. The healthy fat helps unlock more of the nutrients already present in the meal. So while some people drink olive oil separately before bed, others prefer incorporating into dinner with vegetables or salads. Either approach allows your body to benefit from its healthy fats. At this point, you might be wondering something important. If olive oil offers so many impressive benefits, why does Nandapos? Everyone simply drinks several tablespoons every night. Fat and DAPOs is exactly what we on DAPOs explore next, because despite all of its advantages, olive oil is non-DAPOs perfect. There are situations where too much can create problems, and there are several internet myths that deserve a much closer look before you decide whether this habit is right for you. Spino, before you reach for the olive oil bottle tonight, the Randapos, something very important you need to understand. One of the biggest mistakes people make with healthy foods is assuming that if a little is good, then a lot must be even better. Unfortunately, nutrition doesn't DAPOs work that way. In fact, consuming too much of even the healthiest food can work against your goals. Olive oil is a perfect example. Yes, itandapos, rich in healthy monounsaturated fats. Yes, itandapos, packed with antioxidants. Yes, decades of research support its role in a heart-healthy diet. But itandapos, also one of the most calorie-dense foods in your kitchen. Just 1 tablespoon contains about 120 calories. That may not sound like much, but calories add up surprisingly fast. Imagine someone adds 3 extra tablespoons of olive oil to their daily routine without changing anything else in their diet. Dasandapos, roughly 360 additional calories every single day. Over weeks and months, those extra calories can contribute to gradual weight gain if they and APOs not balanced by eating less elsewhere or increasing physical activity. This is one reason experts consistently recommend moderation. Olive oil should replace less healthy fats, not simply be added on top of an already high-calorie diet. Think of it this way. If you adipose, replacing butter, shortening, or highly processed oils with extra virgin olive oil, you adipose, likely making a healthier choice. But if you undipose, already eating enough calories for the day and simply add several tablespoons because you heard itandapos healthy, you may be working against yourself. Another common mistake is expecting immediate results. Many people try olive oil for 2 or 3 nights and then become disappointed because nothing dramatic happens. They expected to wake up with more energy, better digestion, lower cholesterol, less inflammation, or even noticeable weight loss, but your body doesn't work like that. Heart health develops over years. Inflammation changes gradually. Cholesterol levels respond over weeks and months. Healthy aging is the result of decades of lifestyle choices. No single food, even one as healthy as olive oil, can completely transform your health overnight. This is exactly why nutrition researchers focus on long-term eating patterns rather than quick fixes. Consistency always beats intensity. Another issue that surprises many people is digestive discomfort. Although olive oil may help digestion for some individuals, consuming too much at once can produce the opposite effect. Some people experience stomach cramps, others notice bloating, some develop nausea, and others may experience loose stools or diarrhea. Why does this happen? Because fat stimulates your digestive system. If your body is non-adipose, used to consuming large amounts of dietary fat, suddenly drinking several tablespoons may overwhelm your digestive tract. Fortunately, the solution is simple. Start slowly. If you adipose have never taken olive oil by itself before, begin with 1 teaspoon instead of a full tablespoon. Give your body a week or two to adjust. If everything feels comfortable, you can gradually increase the amount. They're adipose, no prize for rushing. Your body appreciates gradual changes far more than sudden extremes. Now, letandipose, address one of the most widespread myths surrounding olive oil. Euandipose, probably seen videos claiming that olive oil, detoxes, the liver. Some even promise that drinking olive oil before bed will flush years of toxins from your body by the next morning. These claims sound impressive, but the adipose were not supported by scientific evidence. The truth is, your body already has an incredibly sophisticated detoxification system. Your liver works around the clock, filtering your blood. Your kidneys remove waste products through urine. Your lungs eliminate carbon dioxide every time you exhale. Your digestive system removes waste naturally. These organs, adipose, need olive oil to begin doing their jobs. Speak. They're already doing them every minute of every day. Does that mean olive oil is useless? Not at all. Olive oil supports overall health. It may help protect your cells from oxidative stress. It may support cardiovascular function. It may contribute to a healthier dietary pattern. But that S, very different from claiming it magically removes toxins overnight. Understanding this difference helps protect you from misleading health information online. The next myth involves weight loss. Some people believe olive oil somehow burns body fat while you sleep. Again, there's no scientific evidence supporting that claim. Olive oil does not melt belly fat overnight. However, it may indirectly support weight management in a much more realistic way. Because healthy fats promote fullness, some individuals naturally eat fewer processed snacks later in the evening. If replacing cookies, candy, or chips with healthier eating habits reduces your overall calorie intake, weight management becomes easier. Notice the difference. Olive oil isn't burning fat, it's helping create healthier eating behaviors. That's a much more realistic and scientifically supported explanation. Another factor many people overlook is quality. Not every bottle labeled olive oil offers the same nutritional value. Extra virgin olive oil undergoes minimal processing, allowing it to retain higher levels of polyphenols and antioxidants. Highly refined olive oils often lose many of these beneficial compounds during processing. When shopping, look for bottles labeled extra virgin olive oil. Choose products packaged in dark glass whenever possible, since light can gradually reduce quality. Check the harvest date or best by date if it's available. Freshness matters. Once you open the bottle, store it in a cool, dark place, away from direct sunlight and heat. Leaving olive oil beside a hot stove for months isn't the best way to preserve its beneficial compounds. Now let's talk about medications. For most healthy adults, moderate olive oil consumption is perfectly safe, but certain individuals should be more cautious. People with gallbladder disease, for example, may notice discomfort after consuming fatty foods because fat stimulates the release of bile. Anyone living with chronic digestive disorders should also pay attention to how their body responds. If symptoms worsen after increasing fat intake, it's worth discussing with a healthcare professional. People taking medications for chronic conditions should also remember something important. Olive oil complements medical treatment. It doesn't replace it. If your doctor has prescribed medication for high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, don't stop taking it because you started drinking olive oil. Nutrition and medicine often work together, not against each other. One supports the other. Finally, perhaps the biggest mistake of all is focusing on one healthy habit while ignoring everything else. Imagine two people. The first drinks a tablespoon of olive oil every night, but eats fast food several times a week, rarely exercises, sleeps only 5 hours a night, and spends most of the day sitting. The second also enjoys olive oil regularly, but fills their plate with colorful vegetables, fruits, beans, fish, whole grains, and nuts. They walk every day, sleep 7 to 8 hours each night, stay hydrated, and avoid smoking. Which person is more likely to enjoy long-term health? The answer is obvious. Olive oil isn't the hero by itself. It's one member of an entire team. That team includes nutritious food, regular movement, quality sleep, stress management, strong social connections, and avoiding harmful habits like smoking. When all of these pieces come together, they create something much more powerful than any single food ever could. Speak so now that Juan Dapos separated the facts from the myths and explored both the benefits and the potential downsides, one important question remains. If you decide to make olive oil part of your nightly routine, what in Dapos actually the best way to do it? Should you drink it straight? Should you mix it with lemon? How much should you take? And is bedtime really the ideal time? Latandapos answer those questions next. So, after hearing both the benefits and the potential drawbacks, you may be wondering one final question. If I decide to drink olive oil before bed, what Dapos the best way to do it? The good news is that you don't Dapos need an expensive supplement, a complicated detox program, or a special nighttime ritual. In fact, the healthiest approach is also the simplest. The first step is choosing the right type of olive oil. This is probably more important than the exact time you drink it. When you walk into a grocery store, you and Dapos will notice several different varieties: pure olive oil, light olive oil, refined olive oil, virgin olive oil, and extra virgin olive oil. While all of them come from olives, the andapos were not created the same way. If your goal is to maximize the health benefits, extra virgin olive oil is the clear winner. Why? Because itandapos, the least processed itandapos, extracted mechanically without the excessive heat or chemical refining used for many other oils. That gentle process helps preserve the natural polyphenols, antioxidants, and healthy fats that researchers believe are responsible for many of olive oil and Dapos health benefits. Think of it like fresh orange juice. Freshly squeezed juice naturally contains more beneficial compounds than juice that in Dapos been heavily processed. The same idea applies to olive oil. Once you in Dapos have chosen a high-quality extra virgin olive oil, the next question is how much to take. This is where moderation becomes extremely important. For most healthy adults, about 1 tablespoon a day is generally enough. That amount provides beneficial monounsaturated fats and antioxidants without adding an excessive number of calories. Some people prefer taking less. Others use that tablespoon throughout the day instead, all at once. Both approaches can fit within a healthy diet. If you want to pose, ever consumed olive oil by itself before therandapos, No reason to jump straight to a full tablespoon. Start with 1 teaspoon. Pay attention to how your body responds over several days. If everything feels comfortable, gradually increase the amount if you choose. Your digestive system appreciates gradual adjustments much more than sudden changes. Now let's talk about timing. Does bedtime actually offer any special advantage? The honest answer is that researchers Havenandapos found strong evidence showing that olive oil becomes dramatically more effective simply because you consume it before sleep. Most of the well-known benefits come from regular daily intake regardless of the exact hour. So why do many people still prefer bedtime? Because routines create consistency. If taking olive oil before brushing your teeth helps you remember to consume it every day, then bedtime becomes an excellent choice. Not because your body suddenly changes at night, but because the habit becomes easier to maintain. And consistency is one of the most powerful predictors of long-term success. Some people ask whether they should drink olive oil completely by itself. The answer is simple. You certainly can, but you, Donandapos, have to. Many nutrition experts actually encourage enjoying olive oil with food. Drizzle it over roasted vegetables, add it to a fresh salad, mix it into cooked beans, pour a little over grilled fish, use it with whole grain bread, or stir it into vegetable soup after cooking. Not only does this improve flavor, but combining olive oil with vegetables may also help your body absorb more fat-soluble vitamins and beneficial plant compounds naturally present in those foods. Speak Itandapos. A simple example of how foods often work better together than individually. Then, Therandapos, one combination Thandapos, become incredibly popular online. Olive oil and lemon juice. Euandapos, Faith, probably seen videos claiming that mixing olive oil with fresh lemon juice before bed cleanses the liver, burns fat, or flushes toxins from the body overnight. While lemon certainly contains vitamin C and adds a refreshing flavor, Therandapos, currently no strong scientific evidence showing that this combination produces unique detoxifying or fat-burning effects. If you enjoy the taste, Therandapos, nothing wrong with combining them, just Don and Apos. Expect miracles. Another common question is whether olive oil should replace other fats. The answer is yes. In many situations, instead of cooking with highly processed fats, shortening, or excessive butter, consider replacing some of those with extra virgin olive oil. Thandapos, exactly how Itandapos traditionally used in Mediterranean countries. The goal ISN and APOS to add large amounts of fat. The goal is to make healthier substitutions. Small substitutions repeated every day often have a much bigger impact than dramatic dietary changes that last only a few weeks. Hydration is another factor many people overlook. If your goal is healthier digestion, remember that olive oil isn't Dapos working alone. Your digestive system also depends on enough water throughout the day. Without proper hydration, even a healthy diet rich in fiber and olive oil may not support regular digestion as effectively. The same is true for physical activity. Your digestive tract responds positively to movement. Even a simple 20 or 30-minute walk after dinner can support digestion, blood sugar control, heart health, and overall well-being. Thandapos, why health experts almost never recommend focusing on one single food. Instead, they emphasize healthy patterns. Imagine your health as a puzzle. Olive oil is one important piece. Vegetables are another. Fruits whole grains, lean protein, exercise, sleep, stress management, hydration, social connection. They all fit together, remove several pieces, and the picture becomes incomplete. They're adipose. Another important point worth remembering. Healthy habits should not feel like punishment. If you dislike drinking olive oil straight from the spoon, don't force yourself. Use it in ways you genuinely enjoy. Nutrition is much easier to maintain when healthy foods become enjoyable rather than something you simply tolerate. Long-term success almost always depends on sustainability. Ask yourself this question. Could I realistically continue this habit for the next 5 years? If the answer is yes, you probably found a routine that fits your lifestyle. If the answer is no, consider a simpler approach. Health is nandapos, about perfection. Itandapos, about consistency. One healthy meal, onandapos, transform your body. One unhealthy meal, onandapos, ruin it. The same principle applies to olive oil. What matters most is the pattern you create over months and years. Researchers often describe this as the Anquat big picture, quote, approach to nutrition. Instead of chasing miracle foods, they encourage building a lifestyle where healthy choices become normal, almost automatic. Datandapos, exactly how people living in many of the world dandapos healthiest regions eat. They donandapos, obsess over superfoods. They donandapos tea, constantly search for the newest health trend. They simply build meals around wholesome ingredients, healthy fats, plenty of plants, and regular physical activity. Olive oil happens to be one of those ingredients. Not because itandapos magical, but because itandapos consistently part of an overall lifestyle that supports long-term health. So, after everything Wandapos explored today, what should you actually take away from this discussion? Should you start drinking olive oil before bed tonight? Or is it better to simply enjoy it as part of your meals? Speak. The answer is probably simpler than you think. And it comes down to one final idea that may be the most important lesson of this entire video. After everything we've covered today, one thing becomes clear. Drinking extra virgin olive oil before bed isn't a miracle cure, but it can be a smart, healthy habit when it's part of an overall balanced lifestyle. The real benefits don't come from taking 1 tablespoon for a few nights. They come from making healthy choices consistently over months and years. So, if you decide to try this nighttime routine, remember the simple rules. Choose a high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Stick to about 1 tablespoon. Pair it with a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and regular physical activity. And most importantly, don't expect overnight miracles. Real health is built one healthy choice at a time. If you found this video helpful, please take a second to hit the like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who are looking for reliable, science-backed health information. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos on nutrition, healthy aging, disease prevention, and the latest medical research inspired by experts like Dr. William Li. Now we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried drinking olive oil before bed? Did you notice any changes, or are you thinking about trying it after watching this video? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story might help someone else in our community. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of your health, and we'll see you in the next video. Speak well.